Hey gems! So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my top 5 easiest plants to care for. These are really beginner friendly plants that are generally hard to kill, but they are killable because I've killed a couple like these. So these will be plants that are pretty easy to care for, don't take a lot of time, and pretty fuss free. You get what I'm saying? So with me being a mom, and I do have some plants that take a little bit of extra of my time, but for the most part a lot of my plants are plants that don't take a lot of time, that are fuss free, and like the calatheas and stuff like that, like those take way more time that I don't have at all. So like a lot of these plants that I'm about to show you, these 5 plants that I have, are generally easy to care for. Only need to water about, the most is like once a week. So yeah, so the first one I have is right here, is a philodendron, and philodendrons have a lot of different varieties within their species. This one in particular is the heartleaf philodendron, and it's pretty easy to care for. This is low light friendly, and it will continue to grow in low light, but a lot of plants that are low light tolerant don't always thrive in low light, so the growth will be a lot slower. This will do well in a low light situation, and it's really easy to care for. I let my soil dry out in between waters, not completely, but I just stick my finger in, and then about to this knuckle, this middle knuckle, is once it's dry, when I touch it right there is when I'll water it. So yeah, and that happens to be within a week and a half, and it just depends on your home and your environment, because and also if you have it in lower light, it takes longer to dry in between, so I mean it'll give you more time in between waterings. But yeah, this is a fairly easy plant. It's a really prolific grower if you give it a good amount of light, and you just fertilize it in the growing seasons, which is like spring and summer. And I use fish fertilizer for all my plants, and I'll just give it like half of the recommended dosage, and just do it about twice a month, bi-weekly in the growing season. And then depending, if I still see growth in the winter season, I may fertilize it, but it's just based on your judgment. But yes, here it is, very pretty, and just a really easy fuss-free plant. I haven't had any problems with pests with this plant, but I've seen other like when I see this in the mall, I've seen like mealy bugs on there, so I know that it can have pests. You just want to make sure that you're spraying it down whenever you water it. Just give it a good water. You could take it to your sink and kind of spray it down with some water, just to make sure like if there are any pests that are coming, you just knock them out. So yeah, it's a pretty fuss-free plant, very easy. And the next one that I have is my ZZ plant. I'm not great at saying plant names, so I'm not gonna say it. I'm just gonna insert it in the video right here. But yeah, the ZZ plant is very succulent like. It's low light tolerant. Like I said, a lot of these plants that I'm going to show you are low light tolerant, but it doesn't mean it's going to thrive. But when you do give it a good amount of light, you'll see that the growth is pretty fast in the growing season. Yeah, and you just water. You just let this one completely dry out before you water it, and then you just water it. So I end up watering it maybe like once a month or once every 3 weeks. So yeah, it's a really easy, it's really pretty, and this is just a smaller one, but I'm sure if you might have seen this in like hotels, and they're like huge. So they can get really big, but they're not like really fast growers, but they're pretty decent. But yeah, this is a ZZ plant, a Zimofolia. That's my attempt at saying it. So yeah, and I do have the ZZ Raven, which is the black, which the leaves grow. They grow out this color and they turn black over time, and that one's also pretty easy, the same conditions as this plant. So yeah, you just water it when the soil completely dries out, and just give it You can put it in low light or high, or like a medium light, just not bright direct light. So it just needs bright indirect light, or low light will work for it as well. So yeah, this is a pretty easy one. And next I have my dog tail cactus. I've seen a lot of new growth here in the last couple of weeks since I've repotted it. So yeah, you can see the new growth come in. These little skinny parts of the tail are new growth. You'll see like some offshoots coming off where it has like double. So yeah, this is how it grows, and like this one snapped off, and you see like a bunch of, so there's one like for this cacti in particular, it has like a star like shape, and for the ones that broke off during my repot, they're having a new growth out of each point in it, so that's pretty cool. But that's off subject. So this one does need bright indirect light. I'm not sure if it'll do well in low light. I haven't put it in low light, which is it being a cactus. You just want to make sure that you give it a good amount of light, and you just kind of forget about it, and then you water it. Like once you've forgotten all about it, then you probably want to water it. So literally you just have to water this maybe once a month, if that, and yeah, and just let it do its thing. Again, I fertilize this when I water it in the growing seasons, and then during the off seasons I just kind of let it sit there. But yeah, any kind of cactus is gonna be like your friend, because, well, if you have the bright light conditions, because yeah, you could just literally just set it on the shelf and forget about it, and by the time you forget about it, it's gonna be time to water. So yeah, this is a pretty easy plant, especially for beginners. Cactuses are your friends. So yeah, this is my dog tail cactus, and I have a couple other cactuses. I'll post a link down to my plant tour down below, and you can see the other cacti that I have and the other philodendrons, and so this is considered a philodendron, so you'll see the other ones like that. And next, I'm sure all of you guys know the pothos. The pothos is very easy. It's very similar to the philodendron care. It can survive in low light, and it thrives in bright indirect light. You just stick your finger in there, and like the other one, put your finger in there until about right there, and then once you feel that soil dries out right there, then it's going to be time to water. So it ends up being about a week or week and a half, depending on your lighting conditions. And yeah, the same type of pests can occur on this one. I've seen mealybugs, but I haven't seen any other pests. But I've heard other plant tubers and plant pages talk about the other type of pests. But as long as you kind of just, like I said, when it's time to water it, you give it a good wash down, you won't have too many troubles with these pests. So yeah, yeah, they're pretty fast growers if you put them in bright indirect light, and if you get them in low light conditions, the leaves will grow a little bit smaller. So that's something that you want to keep in mind when you are putting pothos and philodendron in lower light, is that the leaves will come out smaller, and they won't be as big as like these leaves. And these leaves, you know, aren't super big, but this is what it'll come out to. So if you put it in a low light, the leaves will be even smaller. So yeah, this is a pretty easy plant. Like I said, once a week you water it, and that's it. And then of course, good old faithful snake plants. So this is similar to a cacti. You just let the soil just dry out in between watering. It's completely dry out, so about once a month is when you're going to water this, and then you want to fertilize it then as well. So yeah, and these are fine in low light, but again, they're gonna thrive in bright indirect light. So yeah, these are easy to care for. I mean, this one, it wasn't this one, but my sister got this variety for me as my first plant, and I killed it because I overwatered it. So it's so much better to underwater than to overwater, because you can't really snap back from that overwatering. Like, that root rot is not a game. So these are the 5 plants that I said are gonna be like your best friends, and these are easy to care for plants, and they also, except for the cacti, are going to do really well in low light. So if you don't have a lot of bright light, these are your friends. And I mean, they're just as beautiful I love them. I have like 5 snake plants, and then like a couple cacti. I'm starting to get hip to cacti because at first I was just like but now I'm going to love it. Like this dogtail is my favorite, besides the euphoria that I just got. So yeah, these are going to be your friends. If you have any questions or any extra advice, don't forget to comment down below. And if you have these plants, tell me what you love about them. And so yeah, these are my top 5 easiest to care for plants, beginner friendly. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. Thank you for watching.